Now this is a bit of a different video for me. In fact, I've never done a video like this on my old channel or my new one, which is this one, Anime Quest. And what it is it's an English dub impression. In fact, I don't think I've ever made a single video specifically about dubs or subs. So, hey, there's a first time for everyone. Now, I recently got done watching the dub for the Garden of Words, as it seems, for the second time actually. Now, the first time I watched it, I thought it right away, but I didn't stay to that conclusion by the time I finished the movie, because I thought, well, the only things I've been watching recently were Ayori Aoshi and Blue Seed, which are both a dub from Genion from like 2003 or 4, which would be Ayori Aoshi, and Blue Seed is a dub from ADV in 1996. So I I didn't really have any experience with any like modern Funimation dubs at the time, that I had to go off of. But the first thing I thought when I heard, speaking inside the Garden of Words was how incredible of a dub it was. I mean, it was a brilliant dub from what I was hearing, and like I said, I kind of brushed it off by the time I finished the film because I was like, I haven't listened to any, really good dubs lately, so I'm not going to judge it right away as such a great dub. But alas, I went back and watched Steins Gate, which in my opinion was one of the best dubs Funimation has ever done, and then I went back and finally watched The Garden of Words again, and I was not disappointed, to be honest with you. I was thinking I was going to go into it and I'd be, it was probably just a fluke. I hadn't heard a good dub in a while because, a few of the shows I watched were like Aldnoah Zero I watched in Japanese on Crunchyroll and among others, and the dubs that I actually watched were old and, by companies that are no longer around, ADV and Genion. So I didn't think of anything of it. I was like, the dub, it must be a fluke. It must have just been my ears playing tricks on me. I knew it must have been a good dub at the very least, but I didn't think it was as great as it was. But I was wrong. I mean, the dub. Let me first say this. It's shocking that I'm even making a video like this. I mean, it's just a dub impressions. It's not even a review, which I will do a review of The Garden of Words because, in many ways it's a masterpiece, and in many ways it's not. If I ever do the review, I'll explain what I mean by that. But, you know, it's this type of video. It's a video where I just talk about my impressions on a dub. I've never done this before, it's purely unscripted, purely, from the heart, and purely, I just got off watching this movie a second time, and now I can say with confidence that it's true. And secondly, the other surprising thing that about me making this video is the fact of where the dub came from. I mean, it wasn't Funimation, you know, Amniplex or Viz Media didn't do it because they usually have Bang Zoom do their dubs, and Bang Zoom's, pretty banging at what they do. No, it was Sentai Filmworks. Sentai Filmworks. Now, they don't do bad dubs. I've heard them do some pretty bang up job dubs, and I've heard them do some pretty so-so dubs, but I've never heard a bad dub from Sentai Filmworks. And it surprised me though because they're not at the top of the food chain when it comes to dubs. That's more Funimation and Bang Zoom and Ocean Studios, because hey, Ocean up in Vancouver, man, they are awesome. Black Lagoon, Death Note, those are some pristine dubs. But Sentai Filmworks did this dub. Sentai Filmworks did this dub, and that's what impressed me. Now I'm gonna stop just mushing over the dub and how good it is, and just sort of explain to you why I think it's so good. I'm going to kind of make a comparison here. Now, it's a bit of an exaggerated comparison, yes, but I recently also, not real recently, because like I said, I haven't, watched any really good dubs lately, but, when The Wind Rises first came out and dubbed, I rented it and reviewed it. Go check out the review, by the way, and it was a beautiful movie. It was. But Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Stanley Tucci, Emily Blunt, all the voice actors, which they're Hollywood actors in there, you know, the dub was incredible. It was an incredible dub. William H. Macy was also in there. Can't forget him because he's a great actor too. You know, it was music to the ears to hear a dub like that. And to be honest with you, this dub reminded me of that. It had a very Hollywood style of presenting itself. Inner monologuings with the character at the beginning, which isn't really anything new, but the way they did it, it felt like I was watching a Studio Ghibli film. Not even that. I wouldn't even say that like let's say it's a Tom Hanks movie. Like, where's a movie where Tom Hanks just starts narrating at the beginning? I think Forrest Gump. Let's just say Forrest Gump without the accent, but it was professional. It was professionally done acting, and that inner monologuing at the beginning is what started it with me, where I was like, whoa, this seems really professional. Like, a Studio Ghibli film was my first thought, The Wind Rises. Even though I don't remember an inner monologuing happening at the beginning of The Wind Rises, but it's what first popped up in my head. And the second point with the voice acting in it would be the subtleties, because anime, when it when you dub anime, when you hear anime dubbed, it usually tends to have a bit of exaggeration to it. Like, everybody's voices are exaggerated, but in this film, you didn't get that problem as often. It didn't feel as exaggerated. It didn't feel as it's tacked on. Like, emotions oftentimes feel like they're tacked on. Granted, to be completely fair, sometimes in Japanese dubs I feel like emotions were tacked on too. That was just me trying to get a feel for emotions, because really I actually can't critique a Japanese dub. But, I'd like to hope that I could to a degree, to defend dubs a little bit, because dubs get hate and they don't really deserve all that hate, and subs don't seem to ever get hate, except for some people saying they just can't watch them, which is nothing. If you just can't watch it in Japanese, that's fine. And if you just can't watch it dubbed, that's fine too. But there was subtleties to the voice acting. They seemed a bit more monotone, a bit more stoic, but you could still feel the emotion in their voice. More realistic, more of like a lifelike portrayal of them in it. And it was kind of refreshing. And once again, this came from Sentai freaking Filmworks. They don't do dubs like that. I guess what I had to do with this video for was, it was just a way for me to vent. I've never done a video like this. My old channel, I've only had like 15 anime videos of them. Some of them I've taken down. I've never talked about, just impressions on a dub before. And this is like, what, my fifth, sixth video on this channel? Anime Quest, my new channel, which you should go check out my other videos. I'm slacking a little bit recently, but I'm getting back into it, and I'm, hopefully Anime Quest becomes a great thing. I also have another YouTube channel called JL Short Stories, where I'll post information, trailers, and such on, short stories that I do, where you can go to Booksy.com, Joshua Lundquest, and check out those. But, enough self-advertisement for a second. Yeah, I guess that was really the only reason why I wanted to make this video, and it was kind of refreshing for me to see, because it reminded me, because, especially since I've been watching a lot of older dubs, which I guess wouldn't really help this mindset that I've been in lately, where maybe dubs do kind of suck, but then I was just thinking to myself, I've been watching old dubs, of course some of them suck. I was even watching Bebop recently, and the dub's not as good as I remember from what I heard when I watched a good bit of it on Toonami, and I streamed it this time, and some of the side, like, don't get me wrong, the main characters, I know why that's considered such an amazing dub. The main characters, Steve Bloom does an amazing job. Everybody else too, the voice actor for Jet, they all do great jobs. They sound pretty amazing. I'm talking about, like, everybody around them kind of sounds a bit like they weren't as into it. Still a better dub than most of the time, but still. So, I guess I just wanted to make this video to sort of get the word out there that dubs can still be really, really good. Can still surpass their Japanese counterpart. Granted, this dub didn't surpass its Japanese counterpart. It was actually, like, right on par with it, to be honest with you, because I've only seen the film 3 times now. The 4th time I watch it will probably be the time I review it, if I watch it a 4th time, which I probably will, because, it's like a 48-minute film, so that's gonna happen.
So, tell me how you felt about the Garden of Words dub if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, well, then I guess don't tell me about how you feel. How do you feel about the movie in general? How about this? If you've seen the dub, how do you feel about the dub, and how do you feel about the movie in general? Personally, I liked it. You know, I don't think it was his best work. I haven't seen Children Who Chase Lost Voices. I might do a dub impressions on that video too, because seeing how Sentai Filmworks has handled Makoto Shinkai's work with such care. Children Who Chase Lost Voices, which will be coming in the mail soon for me to watch for the first time, ever. It'll be coming through the mail soon for me, and I'm willing to see. I want to see how they handled that dub too, because maybe it's Makoto Shinkai. Maybe it's because of his name. He's like the next Miyazaki. I know that's a cliche thing to call him, but he's like the next Miyazaki. Maybe that's why Sentai Filmworks, handled that dub with such care. But, getting that out of the way, I mean, I thought this was a really great dub. If you've seen it, how do you feel about the movie? If you haven't seen it dubbed, if you have seen it dubbed, how do you feel about the dub, and how do you feel about the movie in general? By the way, how do you like my Tenchi Muyo VHS collection? Yeah, I have never owned an entire anime series in VHS, but I found the first 3 at Goodwill for $1.50, so I bought them up. That would be these ones right here, and I was just like, I even got this whole retro style. I got an HD TV. Don't worry, I watched this thing on my Blu-ray player on my HD TV, so I guess that wouldn't have anything to do with the dub, would it? I was thinking that would have something to do with the dub. I do believe Blu-ray does affect sound quality somehow on HD TVs, but I'm not a tech guy, so I'm not completely sure. But never mind that. How do you like my retro setup with my VHS and my little TV? I actually had to pull it close to my face because I'm used to a flat screen, but it was fine. So, if you think those are cool, well, then you don't do anything about it because it doesn't matter. I just wanted to spoon and brag about it a little bit because I just thought it was cool. I owned an anime series on VHS. I just felt like it was something I had to do. Thought it'd be cooler than owning it on DVD or Blu-ray, because I believe Tenchi Muyo's been re-released by Funimation, but who cares? So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. If you want me to do more dub impressions on, shows you believe have a very good dub, you want to credit voice actors from good dubs, maybe I will. Maybe it's a dub I've already seen, and I do think it's a good dub, and I'll talk about it. But usually if it only has, like, certain particular special merits, like I said, this one feels like a Hollywood dub. And that's why I felt like I had to make a video about it. I'm not always going to feel like I have to make a video about a dub. Maybe never again. I will do it for Children Who Chase Lost Voices, just as a comparison to this, just as a comparison to Garden of Words, but don't count your chickens before you lay with the lichens from a werewolf movie. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare that. Like I said, this was an unscripted video. Have a good day. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you guys see more videos like this, more videos in general, if you even want to watch my videos. And have a good day.